I was shocked, to be honest with you, because it's been 53 years since I left here. So yes, it was a shock when Danny called me. Well, I was MVP of my senior year. We were rated 10th my junior year, so that was pretty. We never did beat Covcath in the regionals, so that was a downfall. And then the guys that I was on the team with, a couple of us are still good friends. Actually, 3 of us went to the college first year together. So I guess just camaraderie. It carried over into my job as a firefighter. So, fantastic experience. And even in our class right now, it stays together. Class of '71 has their own thing every year. They meet 4 times a year. So yeah. It was a real good experience. I guess the saying is, once a bulldog, always a bulldog. I haven't been down here that much, but because I've got the boys over at the Connors. So, again, once a bulldog, always a bulldog. Coach Flynn, Coach Mavis, Mr. Lancaster's the really one that got me going. So, yeah. Meant a lot. Meant a real, when you put that on, you know that it's Holmes High School, a bulldog. So yeah, it meant a whole lot.
I got the news through Facebook Messenger from a former teammate who's also getting inducted, and I was like, "This has got to be a prank. Like, there is no way they're gonna induct 2 softball players that played on the same team." But I called Mr. Hune, and anything he says is gold. Hearing it from him, I knew it was legit. So I was very excited and honored and happy to be here. I think getting to play alongside some of the best players in Northern Kentucky was unforgettable. We accomplished things that everyone doubted us. Teams, Notre Dame, every year was a big game for us. And there's years where we kicked their butts. And that was such a great feeling. And every year, playing Notre Dame, that was always my game to really look forward to. Just forming the friendships, truthfully. It's a sport, but really that's where you meet friends, and it was something you never forget. Honestly, the people I looked up to are my coaches. I had Coach Frazier when I first started out playing here. She was such an amazing person to look up to just because she had a really strong background in playing in college, and so getting to see that firsthand was really cool. I personally knew Elizabeth Romero because her dad was my baseball coach for 10 years. I looked up to her a lot. She probably doesn't know that, but she played college too. And so that for me was really motivating. And then Coach Petratus, he really had a way of inspiring. And when he would share his experiences, it would help me to see where I fit in and what I was capable of. So I think those 3 people were the biggest influences for me. But for me, it meant that I had to show them who I was. I had to prove who I was and where I came from. So it was that bite, that little bark of being a bulldog. I got to show that to my teammates and to my opponents and my coach, and got to defend being a bulldog, and it's the best.
Surprise. I had forgotten, honestly, that it had been started because I hadn't heard anything about it in a couple years. And then Mom was like, yeah, you know, it's been going for a while. This person's been inducted and this person. And I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was exciting. Mm-hmm. I led Northern Kentucky in ACEs for my senior year. Completely Northern Kentucky, sorry. And I don't know, that was my fun sport. So, I mean, not that I didn't take it seriously, but it was just a lot more fun. We had a lot of bad games, but a lot of fun games at the same time. I always set, and I always wanted to play back row, so I never got to, but it was still fun. I did all tournament team, all regionals team, different all tournament teams for actual tournaments outside of districts. Definitely my serious sport. I thought I was going to play in college, but injuries obviously prevented that. I don't know, I just have lots of memories of softball. Yeah, when I first started pitching, I was horrible. Absolutely horrible, but we needed pitchers and, you know, I was like, I'll do it. But I put a lot of work into it, and then when Megan got there, my sophomore year, it was her seventh career year, I believe. We really started working well together. She started even coming to my pitching lessons with me, so that we could really get that teamwork in, you know, because pitch and catch, gotta have that. Well, I had a lot of superstitions while we played. I liked when I had a bag of dirt from our home field that I carried around in my softball bag, and I blessed everyone's socks at away games before the game started with our home dirt. That was a lot of fun, and we had a couple of people who would try to run away. They didn't want to get dirty, so I, you know, threw more. But that was a lot of fun. We didn't do a lot as a team outside of softball, but I mean, softball season, you're constantly just together anyway. It was a good group of people though. It was a lot of fun. Petritas definitely helped once he was in the mix. My pitching coach, she was the number 2 pitching coach in the area. So she helped a lot, and then I had a lot of help with like summer ball coaches and things like that. But yeah, I'm proud of where I come from and what school I went to, and I think we did really well, and like you said, built the program up as best as we could.
Very happy, surprised. I appreciate Mr. Haney for nominating myself, and just happy to be here, to be honest. Oh, we had many highlights. First of all, I'd like to thank a couple people, Coach Haney and Coach Shoemaker, for all the dedication they put in. Played on the team 1976 where we won 26 games. Had a very good defensive team, very senior-oriented team. Played with Michael Moore, who's in the Hall of Fame, Mark Mavis, who's in the Hall of Fame, and Scott Hansel, Cott, and also Robbie Hartman, an excellent shortstop. Defensively, we were very good. Coach Haney and Coach Shoemaker instilled fundamentals on our whole team, and a lot of low-scoring games, but we won a lot of them. Highlights, I guess, making it to the regional finals. We were defeated by Newport Catholic Central that game, and actually they went on to the state finals. So we had a very successful season. It was a fun season, but we worked hard. We practiced hard and we played hard each game. I think work ethic. I grew up in a very family-oriented environment. So work ethic to continue throughout your entire life. The teachers I had here at Holmes High School were excellent. I had Miss Schroeder for math, and she was a very tough teacher, but she demanded a lot, and we provided a lot for her. I had a good GPA here at Holmes, and Coach Haney, Coach Shoemaker, they made sure we maintained their grades throughout the entire time. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. I'm just happy to be part of the team. Very happy to be part of the team here.
Basketball player, the first thing that I remember is being able to dress JV as a freshman. And then that introduced me to the field house and to Mr. Reynolds Flynn and Ken Spurlock. And from then on, I never looked back. So I played JV and varsity, well, obviously varsity my last 2 years, strictly. And I'll never forget. No, the practices, the two-a-days, I was introduced to that. And I liked how that kind of disciplined us and got us ready for the season. And I kind of used that mentality in life after I graduated. Had some good games, had some bad games, some good games against Beechwood and Dixie, some bad games against Highlands. And I remember us going down to Franklin County in Frankfort and really getting beat up down there, But a lot of my friends, some played 2 sports. It was rare to have somebody play 3. So I had friends that ran track and played football, and I had friends that played football and played basketball. And I had a couple that did all 3 like me. So just remembering those times, how we didn't know what was lying ahead of us after graduation. Track was, I was always a runner. And I was able to come in second place my junior year in the quarter mile at UK. I was excited about that, and I really ran hard and lifted and trained, to what we knew back then. I wanted to win it my senior year, and it didn't happen that way. But some extraordinary athletes make it to state, but the camaraderie that we had, because a lot of us we were on the same team from 8th grade to 12th grade, and getting to travel to, Ashland, Boyd County, UK, those memories will never go away. Mr. Bob Logston, he was the athletic director when I was here. Great man. We still talk to this day. Seems like he hasn't changed a bit, and love that guy. Mr. Bill Hina was the head football coach at the time, and he always pushed me. He wanted me to play college football, and I just thought I was just too skinny to do it. And I never saw that I was going to put on weight, and I want to get crushed, But I played because I knew he was a good coach and he had a good staff. And Reynolds Flynn, his history here, I was glad to be a part of it. He was a good coach. Being a Bulldog, wow. Bulldogs are tough, and growing up in Covington, you had to be tough. Coming to Holmes High School and playing basketball and football against some of the other schools, Dayton, Bellevue, Turkey Foot, Highlands, you had to be tough. And that's one thing we were tough. Sometimes we were athletic, and sometimes we wasn't as organized as we could have been better, but one thing was we were tough. We were never going to back down from anybody.
I was shocked because I think I've been watching everybody get inducted, but I was like, it's probably a few players that are probably should be inducted before me, but I was shocked that I was inducted. So, I was excited. Make me look good for my kids because they don't think mom had it, especially my son. Okay, so I played basketball because that's what I like to do. This is funny, but we played volleyball because we didn't want to do basketball conditioning, right? We were terrible. I ran track because I don't even know why I ran track. I ran track in elementary school. Like, it was just something. And when you came here, you got to run with the older people. So like, I was a 7th grader and I got to run high school. In softball, I played slow pitch for my mom, but I only played 1 year of high school softball. Like, that just wasn't my sport. But yeah, it's funny because I was telling everybody the story about the volleyball. Like, Coach Sparrow was like, you gotta do something. So we all went and played volleyball. Basketball. So I got to play on the team with Erica Hallman, Valencia Jackson, Heather Harrington, Jonna Patterson. We went to state in 2002. I think I was a sophomore. I was much younger than them. We lost in the state to a team we beat in the regular season. So it was kind of hard, but it was like the best experience ever. So that's probably the highlight. We probably had one of the best coaches ever, like ever. I don't think anybody could compare it to the coach we had. I always tell my daughter, like, if y'all would have played under Coach Sparrow, y'all would have never been able to play. So, yeah, like, basketball we made a lot of memories in our few years of basketball here. So, track. My junior year in high school, we went to Regents, and we were running against our time in the 4x1. And we dropped the baton, and we didn't go to state, and that was our best event. We still did go to state for the 4x2. Well, everybody knows my dad, John Whimsy. He was my nightmare here, but everybody here loves him. So, Celeste Hill, she was here when I was here. Coach Sparrow and his wife Lisa. And it's funny, like, we pull up pictures of her son, and he's like, they were my sisters. We like tortured him this whole time here, but he's doing great now. So yeah, those are some of the like people that I really looked up to. All the girls that I played basketball with were all older than me. But I mean, we had a ball. Like, we didn't miss anything. Like, a lot of my friends who graduated were still friends. I literally just had my 20-year reunion. And I've seen a lot of people from high school, and it was crazy that after all these years, we was back in the same room. So yeah. Of course, my dad is probably the biggest influence. I mean, my mom's also my backbone, but my dad literally was there night and day. He didn't never miss. My mom never missed. So they were like my biggest influence, probably more than anything. I think they had me and because I have more kids than they had. I have 4 kids, so it's like I never can miss. But yeah, my parents are probably my biggest influencers from everything.
I was very surprised. You know, I'm going to be 70 next week, or the 12th of August, so I kind of forgot all about it. Probably the one thing I'm most proud of in baseball was that I started varsity 3 years in a row. I was captain my senior year, but also in all 3 years that I played, I only struck out a total of 7 times. So I put the bat on the ball. So I was pretty happy with that. And I played for Bob White, and that was something playing for him. He was a pretty tough guy. Basketball, played for Reynolds Flynn, and really liked Coach Flynn. He was a good guy, so I enjoyed that part of it. I made the varsity team as a sophomore. Didn't get to play much, but I did letter. And my junior and senior year, I started and played. And I was most improved my junior year, and then best offense my senior year. And I was also a captain along with Greg Sandy. And we had some tough games against Holy Cross trying to make it downstate, and we couldn't get past them. But it was a fun season. I think the first coach I had that really that got me started and making me love the game was Aaron Ballard. He was my 8th grade coach, 7th and 8th grade coach. And I really enjoyed playing for him because he was always on me to shoot the ball. And who doesn't like to shoot the ball, right? But yeah, I really enjoyed playing for him. And then Coach Flynn seemed to know how to bring the best out of me. So I enjoyed playing for him too. I think anytime you play for sports, it gives you the confidence to compete and go for what you want, in life. And I ended up working for UPS, and it helped me through my career at UPS, in so many ways. And just meeting people and the confidence of, being myself. I've had so many friends there at school, and I enjoyed it. A lot of teachers that I really like. Gary Hune was algebra teacher. He had a tough time with me, but somehow I passed. Pride, Bulldog pride, Holmes. You wanted to, when you went to another school, you wanted to show that you were respectful. Yeah, I mean, they always made us wear a tie and, look the best we could. And then we always wanted to represent our school the best we could, play hard. And I loved winning. So, and we were winners. We didn't win everything, but we did win our conference. I believe my junior and senior year, I think we won the conference. I know one of the years we did, because I think I still have the jacket in my closet somewhere.
Stunned, elated, shocked, every possible emotion that you could think, overwhelmed, thrilled. I was ecstatic about it when I found out. Highlight wise, the number one will be the first game in the state tournament. My senior year was great. Junior year was great. I would say being just able to be around all the guys that I grew up with. We all grew up together. Oh man, I just, there are so many. My dunk against Withrow, which there's probably not a person that was at homes that went to basketball games would ever forget my dunk against Withrow. Going back to the state tournament, the first game we played, I got in because Kevin was in foul trouble. And because Kevin got in foul trouble, I came in, I think I had like 3 or 4 block shots. And it kind of solidified, it kind of put me on the map as far as basketball, varsity basketball goes. So I was on varsity all year. I played JV my sophomore year as well. But that first game of that state tournament and the block shots kind of put me on the map, so everybody knew who I was. I became more of a household name, I guess I would say. But my freshman year, I ran freshman all year. At the very end of the year, somebody got hurt. I want to say it was maybe Lee Turney got hurt, and he was on a relay team. They put me in his place, and we ran the fastest time of the year, my freshman year. So that'd be my first highlight. And it was in the regionals. So I substituted for the regional. We ran the fastest time ever. I don't know if we broke a school record at that point in time, but I know we had the fastest time of the year. My senior year, I would say the sectionals. So track, you go regional, sectional, state. So the senior year sectionals, I won the 100, I won the 200. We won the 4x100 and came in second in the 4x400. We were, again, you're talking about the same group of guys. Myself, James Hayes, Lee Turner, who I know is still at the school, Henry Marshall, Frank Wonachek, Big Alfonso Lewis. We were always together. And the coaches, Coach Rowley, Tim Rowley, who's at Owensboro Catholic, who I'm going to see him when I come up there. I'll end up seeing Coach Rowley because I'm going to Owensboro. Of course, Coach Flynn, Mr. Turner was a huge, huge impact on me from childhood. As far as my peers, Anthony Hughes, who I saw on there on the list, he's one. Corey was big, Pouncey. Grew up, Corey lived right up the street from me. So James, even though James and I were both graduated the same year. He was a big influence on me because James was such a phenomenal athlete from the onset, from when we were younger. Covington and sports, we're competitive and we compete against each other when we're not on that floor, when we're not wearing the same jersey. There's a sense of pride. And no matter where we went, people knew who we were. And I carried it, and I carried the legacy of being a Covington Holmes graduate. And my dad was the last graduate. He was the last graduating class from William Grant. It was all black high school down on Scott Street or Greenup Street. And my mom was a graduate of the first integrated class of Holmes. So it was meaningful to me to represent not only everything that Grant or my dad stood for, but also what my mom went through in regards to being in that first integrated class. And as I mentioned, there was always a sense of pride, and everybody knew who we were, whether we walked into your gym, whether we stepped onto your field, whether we stood on your track, everyone knew who we were.
Bit of a surprise, yes. My brother was inducted a couple of years ago, so I was familiar with the process and everything. And then a really good friend that I played with, Steve Ruth, I think was inducted last year. So yeah, very excited, very excited. I got to start my sophomore year at outside linebacker. And then as a junior, I played both ways, offensive center and outside linebacker. And as a senior, I was captain of the team. My junior year, when we played Highlands and lost 22-16, I had 18 tackles, which was a high point in my career. Another high point was I played in the East-West All-Star game, had 10 tackles in that game, recovered a fumble on the 3-yard line. They were getting ready to score. What happened was when I was in the 9th grade, they sent us over to the track to run track, right? And so they said, well, we're going to run 12 400s today. The next day, I said, I'm playing baseball, so I'll see you guys with the track program. But no, it was all good. Coach Bob Logston was Coach Bob Logston actually in the 7th and 8th grade I played for the Latonia Bears, which was a Pee Wee football team. He actually came to our the little celebration you have at the end of the season. The term's escaping me now, and said, "Hey, I'm looking forward to getting Stan Robinson and Billy Martis and 3 or 4 other kids into the program at the high school." So that was pretty. He was definitely a big influence in my life. No matter how tough it gets or how unsuccessful you are in life, if you really want to reach that goal, you just keep trying. So, I'm not the most gifted, I'm not the most talented, but I would say I might be the most persistent. I excelled in the United States Navy. I excelled at Arkansas Nuclear One, and I've excelled with my company, Innovative Industrial Solutions. And I attribute that all to basically the indoctrination I received going through Holmes High School.
When this came about, I thought my cousin was joking around, and then I went online and I found, okay, what is this, So, oh, okay, this is interesting, But it's I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised from the standpoint that I realize now that 64 team was extremely special. I mean, we were just special. 90% of us, started kindergarten together, which, so we all played together in the same classroom and so forth and so, and then Coach, when he started selecting young men, he started looking at what they were doing in the classroom, and luckily I was doing real well. But everybody on that team, there was no one on there that had an ego, and everybody worked both ends of the court. And when one was down, the other one picked them up. I mean, it was like we were running like this. Just like this, whatever we do, we slow up together. We go fast. It was special. Coach Brock, if you were to go to one of the games where Coach Brock was coaching, he'd take a piece of paper or schedule or something and roll it up and sit on the bench and just watch the game. He wouldn't say a word while the game was going on to any of his players at all. And then in the huddle, he'd give us hell and tell us exactly what each one wasn't doing and what they were doing. And the game started again, and he sat back and he let the game progress. Let the game go on, and then because our guys were so sabbatical, so into one another, they knew exactly. And if one wasn't doing something, you go like, hey, it's such and such. But in the locker room and in practice, he read the riot act to us every day. Also, when I left and graduated, I realized that it's going to be a team effort, and no matter what job you take, it's a team effort, and if you can work as a team effort, okay, you're going to have a lot of success. And, I wasn't, I ain't gonna say very smart, but I was a quick kid, and I spent quite a few years in the Fortune 500 company, 5 years with IBM, 2 with Xerox, and 28 with General Motors. Never missed a day's work. Never out without a job in my life. I would leave a job on a Friday and start the other one on Monday. And I think that's all because of educating myself and working hard and being part of the team. Whatever assignment I had, even if I didn't like it, I still worked it, So I think I'm getting all that back from Coach Brock and the way he ran his teams. Oh my goodness, my first grade teacher, Miss Fitch, and she ended up being Miss Delaney. It sounds crazy, but because she was a first grade teacher, right? But every year she would, encourage me, David, such, you keep doing that. And then we had a lady there, our English teacher, that everybody just loved, Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson was just pro-education, pro-learning. And Mr. Vault, my math teacher, we took the college courses, the trigonometry, solid geometry, and all those courses. There's only 4 of us in the class. And then in 1962, when homes opened up for young men and ladies of color, our school was like half of what it used to be. And one of our one of our guys in our class transferred. So then it was only 3 of us. So you couldn't not do your homework, Okay, being a person of African descent, we didn't get much love anywhere, As a matter of fact, to be honest, none of the schools in Boone or Kenton County would play us during the regular season. The only time they would play us is during the tournament, Plus, our gym was so small that the foul circles on both ends overlapped into the jump center circle. So that's how small our gym was. So we played our home games at one of Holmes's gym, but they wouldn't let us practice there. So we took the mentality that we were always on the road. And we took the mentality, and that put us so close together, even closer together. And then when Coach allowed the 2 guards, Robert Storm, the other co-captain, and my cousin Kenneth Simpson run the team and the way he wanted it, it just made it so much easier. We only had 1 sport in our school, okay? So therefore, with only 1 sport, basketball, everyone in the community thrived to be on the team. And to make the team, and then to have your body grow as such that, that you can hold your own, it was very, very special.
Having gone here and known some of the people that are in this, it took me by surprise. Oh gosh. The first time I went to the state tournament, I worked a girls' state tournament in 1996 down at Bowling Green. First off, is the only time in the history of the state tournament around got snowed out. I mean, it was horrid. I got picked to work championship game my first time. That, to me, is the best thing that ever happened to me. I've told this story a few times. I used to keep scorebook at Southside Baptist Church on Saturday nights. Referee didn't show up. Guy looks at me, grabs a shirt, throws me a whistle. He said, "Let's go." I did it, and it was like, this is all right. And then the next year, I signed up to be an official with the state of Kentucky. For me, it was the hardest place to work because everybody down here knows me, and I had to do my best, or I'd hear about it. You know, a lot of district and regional games in this gym, so it's, you know, it's special. Coach White, he was a disciplinarian, and if you did something wrong, he let you know about it. I spent 2 years as a manager for the football team and the baseball team, and my senior year, I played football. I'm not going to say I played baseball. I was on the team. And I know why I was on the team. It was, you know, it's just the way it was back then. He liked me. I love my time here. Some of my best friends came from here. And it was 4 wonderful, wonderful years.